Thank you, Soha. Our next speaker is Zeeba, who is a third-year student majoring in Sociology and Consumer Behavior. The subject of human rights is very dear to her, as her grandfather was not allowed to leave the country for 23 years because of religious persecution. She was finally able to meet him in middle school 8 years ago. Zeeba will be talking about the ethnic minorities in Iran.
Hi, everyone. So Iran is a very diverse country with a lot of different languages, cultures, ethnicities, and backgrounds. And unfortunately, this isn't respected by the government of Iran, and it's not celebrated. So a lot of the minorities are being persecuted. I'm going to talk a little bit about the ethnic minorities, and most of my information comes from a UN report on the subject. So basically, the state of affairs right now is that there's selective acknowledgement of ethnic groups. So only ethnic groups in certain provinces are recognized, and there's no information in any reports that acknowledge them in the places that they live. So it's believed to be deliberate secrecy on behalf of the government because all this information is collected every year in the census. It's assumed that about 50% of the people living in Iran are ethnically and racially considered Persian, but the other 50% include Azeris, Kurds, Turkmens, Baluchis, Arabs, Armenians, Assyrians, Jews, Georgians, and Afghans, all who are not properly acknowledged in their respective provinces. So ethnic minorities do not have equal opportunities to be educated and in their mother tongue, and additionally they face higher rates of unemployment, they face higher numbers of execution and things like that. So I'm going to talk a little bit about different examples of this. So first are the Arabs. In a report published in February 2006, Amnesty International claimed that the Arab population of Iran is one of the most economically and socially deprived, and that Arabs have been reportedly denied state unemployment and that the job placement criteria. Additionally, policies have been implemented to change the demographic composition of Arab inhabited states. So they basically do this by confiscating land and displacing the Arabs and facilitating the move of non-Arab population into these provinces. So a few of the ways that they do this is they house military forces on their land, they confiscate their land at negligible prices, and they don't compensate them, and they make loans for houses unavailable to Arabs. They demolish large housing complexes, so thousands of Arabs are left homeless. And they obviously have to move into a different province. Another minority is called the Baluch. Their unemployment rate is 5 times the national average in the province that they're most concentrated in, and their illiteracy rate is very high, and that 45% of the people are under the poverty line. Lastly, the Kurds, who are mostly Sunni Muslims, are denied adequate housing, proper living conditions. They are not issued business licenses. Their publications are banned, and a lot of their journalists have been persecuted in the past. And the issue, one of the main issues is that although constitutionally discrimination is outlawed, they get through the cracks, and they basically find ways to not teach these minorities in their mother tongue, and although they may be allowed to go to school, they're not understanding what they're being taught. And lastly, the Kurds are also being executed at higher rates than any other religious group. They're they're being threatened by execution, they're being tortured, and it's recognized by the UN that this is an issue that is